Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl.
Just a normal day. You take your hair out and
Guys, today I just want to talk about broken locks. It is your girl,
Jetty's finest.
Why would your lock break? If your locks are breaking, if you're noticing that for some reason you have a broken lock. Remember from my Black Rice Water Challenge, I have broken a few locks. Well, some of my locks fell off. And you know how mortified I was. Mortified. You guys remember when I was just like, oh, I lost the lock. And it seemed like I was nonchalant about it is because it was not the first time. I think since I've been growing these locks, I have lost at least 2 or 3 at least. And every time I really was devastated. You should have seen me. Babe, I lost the lock. I was just angry. At one point I was even angry, like, I'm just gonna shave these off my head. Like, I don't even know why I'm growing these. This is crazy. Like it just, I was getting freaked out, you know? And after all the time that you're putting into your hair, growing locks takes time. Spending 2 to 3 years growing these, and then you just look up and they're just falling off of your head. It's pretty devastating, you know? But for me, I was having an issue with my hair in the front. And I'll do a slideshow soon so you can kind of see what I mean. How my locks were really tiny around the edges. Even now, they're still somewhat, in some areas, pretty tiny around the edges. But not all of my locks. At first, I had almost like sister locks around the edges. Even at one point, I even got this stupid idea that it would be a good idea to make knots on them, because there are lots of people who are doing videos that are saying, yeah, put a knot on it and it'll fix it. So I'm going to tell you from my own personal experience that was a lie. It did not fix my thinning locks. As a matter of fact, one of the locks that I put a knot in is one of the ones that I actually had to just cut that off, because the way that it was growing, it was almost like, it just made it more noticeable that it was an issue with it. And it was really skinny. It was really skinny here, just growing just like a thread. And at the tip, I had that stupid knot that I thought was gonna help. And because I've seen people do the videos where they're knotting it up, and it's making it look fuller. And in the videos, it looked fuller, but realistically, it's not a solution. Crocheting is a solution. And I'll show you a video another day on how to fix them, replace them, the ones that have fallen off. But first, I just want to talk to you about reasons why you may be losing a lock. Why you may have locks falling off of your head. Oh gosh, I hate it, you guys. That is the worst part about growing locks for me personally, is looking one day and seeing your lock in your hands. Or you come from the gym and you take your hair out of a ponytail and there's your lock. No longer attached to your head. Like, it's mortifying, it's freaky. I hate it. So, okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the reasons you may have lost locks in the past, or you may be losing locks. For me, I was losing locks. Just a little backstory really quick. Around my edges, because my hair on my edges are very soft. It's very delicate, soft hair. As you can see, I'm growing a new one here. That is always an option when you lose one. It's just to grow another one. You know, a lot of times we want to just reconnect them or have someone install one on your hair. And I'll come back to that. But the reason why I lost locks in the past around the front of my head, because my hair is thinner here. And it's funny because it's not thinner up top, it's just on the sides, and it's delicate. And so I had to personally find out what was causing my locks on the side to break and what's causing those locks on the sides to thin. And if you you know, if you don't know, I interlock, as you can see. As you can see, yes, they are thick and they are healthy and full. I have no problems with this. No, interlocking does not cause naturally thin locks, or because there's a lot of rumors about interlocking, it causes the locks to be messed up or they automatically thin. As you can see, I have some very thick locks. It's not the interlocking. So for me, I just had to figure out why I was losing my locks around the edges. And if you want me to talk more about why I was losing locks around my edges, and, you know, just talk a little more about my lock journey, you can leave that in the comments below, and I'll just do another video kind of giving my backstory on how I've been growing my locks in the stages and what I learned about my edges, mainly just the tinching, the pulling, the hard pulling for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into the other facts, because we all may not be losing locks around the edges or inside your hair, inside, and just overall throughout your locks for the same exact reason. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the reasons you may have lost locks in the past, or you may be losing locks. I'm going to tell you 8 different reasons you may have thinning locks, or your locks are just falling off of your head. Has this ever been you? No! Why? What is happening? Yeah. Anyways, that's the feeling. This is one of my locks that has fell out in the past. As you can see, my hair has survived. But anyways, this is how you feel. My hair. No, it won't go back on your head. You have to come up with a solution, you know. But anyways, like I said, growing it back from the is an option, but sometimes I reattach mine. One of the main reasons, I'm gonna have my little notebook, my handy dandy notebook, because sometimes I can get a little distracted and then I can start telling you about something else that is very important, like I did on my 3 lock tips. So I want to just stay focused, because I want to make sure that you get all of these pointers, because they're important and they're factors that you should consider and deal with right away if you're losing locks or if your locks are thinning, because you can stop the thinning and so that your locks can grow healthy. Even I personally had a point where my locks were all thinning, and I noticed it and I addressed it properly, and now I have healthy growing locks, etc. So one of the things you want to make sure that you're not doing is that your locks are not too tight. I know we go to the hairdressers, they put all those pretty styles in your hair, and yes, sometimes locks get a little boring, especially if you were like me, you were wearing your hair natural and you were able to do lots of styles, braids, updos, just there's so many things you can do with your natural hair if you are used to wearing natural hair, of course. And so when you wear locks, sometimes it can get boring, and sometimes you feel like you just have to wear them down all the time, just down and just boring, and just every day do I have to just wear my hair down? Okay, and no, that's not true. You don't have to just wear your hair boring and down, but when you wear the lock styles, make sure that they're not so tight. For me personally, I can even show you some photos when I got my locks done. When I used to get my hair styled, they used to be super tight. One time my hair was so tight, when I went to work, I had to put ice cubes on my scalp, okay? Because I was like, I just thought about it when I was a child, and one of my aunts would do my hair and my mom would put ice cubes on my scalp. I didn't know what else to do. I was at work, I needed to focus. I didn't want to take my hair down. Oh my gosh, my hair down. I didn't want to take my hair down because at that time, I wasn't interlocking. The hairdresser that was doing my hair, she did not approve of interlocking. And even though I was interlocking initially, she didn't like interlocking, and I really liked her as a beautician. And so I was not interlocking with her, and I didn't want to take my hair down because the style, it kind of sets your retwist. And so you don't have to get your hair done as often if you just leave the style in at least a day or two. And I had just got my hair done the day before. So I was like, oh my gosh, if I take my hair down now, it's gonna be like I never got my hair tightened. You know how that is when you get your hair retwisted and then you know, if there's no style in it, most likely if you go out a day or two, it's going to be like you never got your hair done. Or if you go work out, you're finished immediately. And so I didn't want to take my style down, and you know, I work out. So anyways, I put the ice cubes on my scalp, and by, I don't know, I think I lasted for about 5 or 6 hours, and eventually I just had to take my hair down. And when I took my hair down, I was so glad because my scalp had scabs on it, okay? So that's how tight a style can be. You can have scabs on your scalp. So anyways, so that is a major factor. That is a major factor. You know, you can have scabs on your scalp if your hair is way too tight. And that definitely causes breakage and thinning. And I noticed at that time for myself that my locks were thinning because of the styles. They were way too tight, you know, and I still style my hair now. I just don't style it tight. And I style it myself because for some reason, some people just can't style your hair without making it super tight. So, you know, I just had to learn how to style my own hair. You know, my favorite is the halo. And, you know, just deal with that. You know, every now and again, I can get a style from a hair a beautician, but overall, on a regular basis, out of 30 days out of the month, you know, 20 of those days, I'm going to style my own hair, and I'm going to make sure my hair doesn't have too much tension on it. So that is one of the most important factors I think that causes thinning is the styling. You know, styling definitely can cause a lot of thinning. Okay. Number 2. Your locks cannot be super duper dry. I've even been hearing a lot of people saying that their locks are popping off at the tip. And I noticed that most of the people that are having this issue, their hair is really dry. And so one of the reasons why your hair can be thinning is also because it is way too dry, okay? So you want to make a spray bottle, as you can see in one of in a black rice water video, I think number 2. I have like a little spray bottle. I use a glass one, and I mix it with essential oils and tea tree oils, etc. And I spray it in my hair every day, mostly in my scalp. But you know, sometimes your hair is damaged from perms, and sometimes your hair is just going through a lot, and your hair, you notice, even when you spray your hair every day, it is still dry. Just constantly spray it every day. Just spray it once or twice a day and go, and you will notice a difference. I noticed when I first got my locks that my locks used to be dry every single day, all the time. As a matter of fact, at least for the first 1.5 years, my locks used to be dry every single day. Now I'm at about 1 year, 2 and 7 or 8 months now. And I noticed that I don't even have to oil my hair as frequent. Like every day, I really don't have to oil my hair anymore. And it's really nice. And I think my scalp and my hair has gotten to a point where it's just retaining the moisture, because that's an issue sometimes. And then also make sure that you wrap your hair at night, because if you sleep on a cotton pillow, which most of us do, you are allowing your hair to be sucked bone dry all night long while you are asleep. And when you wake up, your hair is dry. And then you do that every day, and your hair and your hair follicles and your scalp is not getting the option or the opportunity to absorb any moisture. And you know, yeah, you're spraying it, and maybe you are spraying it on every day, even though you sleep on your pillow every night. And yeah, maybe you are doing that, but you're not going to get that long-term effect of covering your hair every night with some type of scarf. And you can notice in my hair wraps video, just a silk or a satin scarf, you know, you can just wrap your hair up in it. Some people use head wrap scarves. I really don't recommend a lot of those because they're made out of cotton. So I feel like if it's not some type of satin or silk, or honestly charmeuse silk is the best. If you're not using that, or at least polyester, something that's similar fabric, those fabrics help hold in moisture. Yes, the quality of the scarves are not as great as 100% silk, but they do the job, and it's better than you sleeping on cotton. Okay, so 3. All right, I just want to talk about lock extensions. There is nothing wrong with them. They are very beautiful. I've actually had, I've had my hair on this side reconstructed before because of the thinning I was having, and Rice Water Part 1 video, and I was just talking about how the beautician basically just damaged all my hair here, and I was literally bald on this side of my hair all the way back, just completely skin. It was just skin. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. I was thinking like maybe I should just shave it, do a little cute little cut. But anyways, my husband did not really approve of the cut. He didn't really like the idea. So I just decided to let it grow in, and then put the extensions in myself. Okay, so anyways, the thing I want to say about the lock extensions is some people who have lock extensions, they're doing the ACV lock detox. Okay, if you don't know what that is, I've done a video on it, so you can check out my lock detox video. It's just a simple little cleanse you do with apple cider vinegar. And the thing is with that is, if your locks aren't grown, if they're not grown organically, it is acid. And one of the things I noticed with my locks that I had replaced, or the ones that I've had put in my head as an as a lock extension, it's the same process when you put a lock back, honestly. Especially if you're filling in a lock that's kind of thin, that's also a way you can fill in locks that are thin by wrapping it in hair. And you can use your own hair, or you can use weave. A lot of people use weave. And so, and I've used those methods in the past to repair my locks, and, so they can look good, especially around my edges. It's just, you got to deal with that. I personally, I just got to deal with it. So anyways, the thing I want to say is that the thing about the lock extensions is, if you really should never do the lock detox. I don't recommend it. If your locks are falling off your head and you know that you have not grown your locks organically, I just want to say that the lock detox is not for you, because it works. And I noticed little pieces of hair coming out of my locks that were connected. My locks that I had put in as an extension to my organic locks, and I'm going to keep that in mind next time I do the detox. Now, the rest of my locks that are organically grown, nothing happened to them. They were squeaky clean. They were healthy and beautiful. But the next day, that 1 or 2 locks, because I've only had about 2 that I had installed, that I've had someone else install, that weren't organically, I didn't put on my own head as a lock extension. And that's actually the only one that I'm referring to. The ones I've put on my own head that were my own hair that I put back, I didn't notice this, maybe because that lock extension was replaced with my own organic lock, and so that may make a huge difference. The one that was put on by the beautician for me, it was actually, she put it together with weave. She used a little bit of weave, she used human hair as well, but I noticed she used a piece or 2 of weave, and maybe that's what came out. But anyways, that is something you should keep in mind. If you're doing detoxes with acid and your locks aren't organically grown, your locks possibly could come off. They could fall out. So keep that in mind. All right, 4. Okay, and I talked about this on my lock tips, so I know a few of you already know about this, but when you're free forming, some people lose their locks or have thinning because of free forming, because we're not all able to free form. Simple as that. We're not all able to free form. Some, like my hair grows outside of the hair shaft. Do you know what that means? That means that when my hair grows, for example, I'm just gonna use this guy here. It's a little messy, but you can see what I mean. You see how when your lock grows, it just grows outward, right? Outward, right? But not all of us. Some of our locks grow outside of the part. And if you know what I mean, if you are familiar with this, you'll notice that when your hair needs to be retightened, you'll kind of start getting the little halo instead of some of the other people, when their locks are growing out, they don't get the halo. Their hair just kind of comes out, and they can even put them in ponytails. And you notice the ponytail looks kind of neat, even though they need a retwist, you know, and that's because they're the person whose hair does not grow outside of the hair shaft. And I think freeforming is fine for them, and it even looks beautiful. It looks beautiful for them. But for us, whose hair grows out of the hair shaft, that is not horrible. It's not a horrible thing, but it requires a little more for you to maintain your locks. And as they grow out of your head, that hair is left vulnerable, and you are more susceptible to having your locks break. I had a lock break when I was trying to freeform, because so many people were saying that, oh, if you let your locks grow and don't retighten them as often, they'll get thicker. And, you know, and that's why, you know, we don't all have the same reason for thinning. We all have different reasons for thinning. And so you just want to make sure that you address your thinning, or the thing that's causing your locks to break and fall off, the proper way. And you should always make sure, if you want to freeform, that your hair is growing inside of the hair shaft, meaning that you shouldn't have to have any hair outside of the lock as it grows out. And that's how you will know. It's so simple. Next, I want to just talk about simple genetics, right? Some people, they just have thinning in their family. Everyone in your family, your mom, your auntie, your uncle. Okay, sorry, not your uncle, but hey, it's possible. Uncles too. Your mom, your auntie, everybody, they have thinning around the edges. You know, it's just practical in your family. And yes, it's possible that genetics may be playing a part. If you've tried everything, it may just be genetics, okay? I hate to tell you that, but it's true. And for example, like traction alopecia, so you want to make sure you don't have any genetic or health issues that may be causing thinning. Sometimes it can be pregnancy, and that's pretty common. And usually after you have the baby, your hair will grow back nice and full, and it'll stop thinning. Also, you can have hormone imbalance. And if you have a hormone imbalancing issues, that can really cause thinning in your hair. Some people may have endometriosis. If you have that, you know how hard it is to have it. I personally don't have it, but I know people that do. And thinning of the hair is definitely an issue. And if you have locks, sometimes you can have thinning. And when you have endometriosis, it causes a hormone imbalance, which is one of the things that definitely causes hair thinning. So if you notice that you have it, you know, there's some herbs that you can be taking for it, some medicine, take it so that your hair can grow healthy and full throughout. And also, the last thing I wanted to tell you was stress, you guys. Stress. And when you lose a lock, it's stressful. That's not helping. Work can be stressful. So you gotta relax, you guys. I was even thinking about doing a video on meditating, because meditating is an awesome way, awesome way to relax. Because sometimes just the way our minds think, and we're constantly worried about things, we're planning, this has gotta happen like this has gotta happen like that. When you have so many things to do, stress can really cause thinning of your locks and your hair in general. All these issues can cause thinning of the hair in general, honestly. It's just that we're talking about locks. But yes, stress. Also, if you exercise, that's good because you're burning endorphins. If you have a lot of stress, you can work out. Working out burns a lot of endorphins, which helps overall with your entire body, and it can help with your hair. I already work out, so I burn endorphins, so my stress levels are usually pretty low. And I try to meditate, not as much as I used to, but those two factors will definitely help keep your stress levels down. If you want me to talk about things you can do to help with hormone balancing, I'll do a video on that, because I have a problem with that, because previously I had fibroids. So I know what it's like to have your hormones all off balance and crazy. And so I take supplements for that. And so you can also take stuff, and most women have problems with their hormones being off balance. So that can also be one of the #1 reasons, especially with all the soy and all the products, that you can possibly have hormone imbalance. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope these tips were helpful. If there was something in particular that I mentioned that you wanted me to follow up on, if there was something in particular that I was talking about that you want me to follow up on, let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you'll know when I make my next post. I am going to make posts about locks every Tuesday. So we're going to call it Lock Tip Tuesday. Lock Tip Tuesday. Anyways, I'm going to start calling this segment Lock Tip Tuesday because I have been posting this every Tuesday, things about locks. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the new people that are watching, and please like and subscribe.
Remember the 8 reasons. Your locks may be too tight. They may be too dry. You may be doing too many ACV rinses. You may be trying to freeform. It may be genetics. It could be stress. And it could be hormone imbalances. Or you could just be pregnant. Stay positive and locked. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe.